You want me to deny you around me? Like my brain. My brain. You know I'm going insane. When you're ready late tonight, you want a new direction. Another pony's got her man. And you want a new connection. Another drink or two. Things are better. Better with you. She was mine. She was mine. Beautiful. She was mine. Beautiful. She was mine. She was mine. Changes a bit on her body. Never wants to see me anymore. Changes a bit on her body. She doesn't see me anymore. Changes. Changes. Got changes.
There we go.
All right, next song.
How was that, man?
That was great.
Good.
That was "Victim of Changes" by Judas Priest.
Yeah,
This
our cover,
is
our little
this
cover
is
of
the new
that.
internet band in the community, the only internet band in the community, Brown and Young.
Yeah,
Um,
Young Brown,
so,
I guess you could call it.
and we're gonna go ahead and do this next song called what is it called?
What is it? What do you want to do? What was it? Beyond the Realms of Death.
Beyond. We're gonna do "Beyond the Realms of Death," which is found on the um,
Stained Glass album there.
Stained Glass, 1978. Judas
Yep.
Priest. We're gonna be diving hardly on Judas Priest tonight. Um, And we need to go ahead. I'm gonna grab some news, some rock news,
Okay, you go with that. You do that.
as well. You go ahead and get your guitar ready and everything. We're gonna head do the second song and dive into the show here.
It's been a while since I tuned this bitch here.
Yeah.
We did this on Young's last stream there earlier this week. We figured we'd do it again for this
Yeah.
part two of our little mini series here, the salute to the Big British Four. We did Black Sabbath last week, and now we're going to salute the predecessors, Judas Priest, who
Yes.
started out
My personal favorite.
Yeah, because you've been bragging because you got all the shirts, you're getting all the albums, Defenders of the Faith, you Screaming for Vengeance. You got to try that album out. Sin After Sin. Got to acknowledge that record as well. You also got, of course, Sad Wings of Destiny.
Yes.
The track that we played from that is of course, the opening track from that album. Ah, nice. So we're going to try and do Beyond the Realms of Death here.
Yeah, the songs Beyond the Realms of Death found on the Stained Glass album, 1978. Brown and Young. Here we go.
Okay.
Are you playing KK's part or?
I'm just playing the song in general.
No. You're naked anymore. He found a place in his mind. Slam the door. No matter how they tried, they couldn't understand. Washed and dressed him, fed him by hand. Ow! And left the world behind. I am safe here. It's my mind. Free to speak my own kind. My life. I'll decide on you. Withdrawn, you sit there, staring into space. No sign of life would flicker on his face until one day he smiled. It seemed as though with pride the wind kissed him goodbye. And then he died. Left the world behind. I am safe here in my mind. Free to speak my own kind. My life is my life. I'll decide not you. Leave the world with all its sin. It's not fit for living. Oh! We will start again. We'll take forever and ever, but we will win. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty
Fuck
good
yeah.
there. That
Really
was
good, my
good.
friend.
Thank you. You're good as well, man.
Let's see how that
Yeah.
sounds. Let's see.
All right.
We will start again. Good hope forever, ever, and ever, and ever. And we will win. Yeah. Ooh, that ending. Ah!
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty good there. Probably should later on do something from heading out. Probably heading out to the highway from port of entry later
Can you
on, I
play
guess.
that? Can you play that right now? You have to learn it.
Tell you what. Oh no, I don't have to learn that. It's pretty easy to
Okay, do it right now.
memorize
Do it
there.
right now.
Hold on. Let me get one
Head
thing
to the
set up here.
crow's nest. Yeah, it's one of my specialties, bro.
All right. Okay. I
That's in.
gotta.
I'll tell you what. That's in my top five. Do you have a top five Judas Priest ready?
I never really got a top five just yet, but I know what songs to put on it. Okay, there.
All right.
Okay, let me can you hear that pretty well?
Yeah, a little bit closer.
There you go. A little bit there.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
Louder, louder, louder.
that's how it's got how it can get. I mean, remember, I got to put the headphones, the mic, next to the speakers over here.
Yeah,
I have
do
to play
that.
this.
Do that like the first song. Do that like the
Okay,
first song.
all
Yeah.
right, I'll do it. Son of a bitch. All right, see how this goes.
You want to know, and you want to win. There's nothing to know, and how to win. Everything's going in your hand, up on the wheel. It's easy to go along with the crowd. And listen to know what the day now the day now when you will install. And you're headed to the crow's nest. Nothing to lose at all. High in the rafters, and you know it's hanging on to know with all the crow. Pretty good. Oh, my baby is the hot master. And you're headed to the crow's nest. Nothing to lose at all. Oh, man, Davy and Jake Burns and Marvin, what they don't know. They all know. Love John. To the crow's nest. To the crow's nest. We're in the rafters now, yeah. And you see me pushing the old man's wheelchair around, yeah. And you're heading to the crow's nest, nothing to lose at all. Shout out to Scott McKinnon, he's back on the drama club. Shout out to Scott. Ow!
Here we go. Here we
That
go.
was good, right?
Yeah, I kind of messed up on the bridge there a little bit there, but I can correct that some on another time there. Okay. I'm gonna get my my wires are getting fucking crossed over here with the between the headphone cords and the guitar cord here. All right, so okay, so let's begin. Judas Priest, as we know, is the true metal gods out there. Well, not just to compare to Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden, the other bands out
Yeah,
there. We know about them like the back of our hands. We know their songs. We played a few of them. They're still together after all these years. A couple lineup changes here and there. Their last record, titled Firepower, did pretty well. And they're supposed to go on the 50th anniversary tour, but sadly that's been postponed because of for the obvious reason, COVID-19.
yes,
Yeah, so hopefully next year they could probably do that next year, I guess. You
yeah,
know, they formed of course in 1969. They have sold over 50 million copies of their albums. Are frequently ranked as the greatest heavy metal bands of all time. Now, despite an in pioneering body work in the later half of the 70s, the band had struggled with different record production and a lack of major success during that time, but they rose to success with the album British Steel back in
yeah,
1980. Breaking the Law and Living After Midnight were the big hit singles from that album. Now, for hereafter, they would put out other singles and other good albums like Point of Entry, the classic Scream of the Changes, who, along with Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast, would rejuvenate heavy metal's prime, the new wave of British heavy metal scene around that time in 1982. 2 years later, they would come out with my personal favorite, Defenders of the Faith, and
yes,
they would also release an album called Turbo 2 years later, which he completely added some guitar synthesizers. They changed their look to a more flashier look because every other heavy metal band were copying their clothing style, leather, boots, whips and chains and stuff there.
yeah,
Every other band was starting to dress like them, so they had to change their style for about a year and a half there. They would go back to the leather and hard stuff with Ram It Down in '88. In 1990, they would get a new drummer, and they put out the ever so thrashing Painkiller album that year.
yes.
Then,
Lots of shit.
yeah, then after of course in 1992, Rob Halford was going through some conflicts. He decided to leave Judas Priest because of some. From what I understand, he was going to do a solo record or a project on the side, but many people within the record label, which was Sony as it was now called at that time, they started getting involved in it. A lot of lawyers were starting to thrust their way into it, and it just all boiled down to Halford saying goodbye, and Priest responded by saying, "You will never work with us again." 7 years later, they would get a new singer named Tim Ripper Owens, who surprisingly was in a Judas Priest tribute band. Somebody had put a video cassette of this guy singing in a club there in the case of in the duffel bag of Scott Travis, their current drummer there. during fights, one of the fights of many tours. Actually, two tours, I should probably say. Halford put together a new band called Fight, which is a lot more aggressive and, well, not basically aggressive. It was basically more of the. It sounded like if Judas Priest were to make it big at around that time. This is around the '90s
Right.
when the studs, the leather, the hair was out of place, and bands were like going towards like white socks, combat boots, shorts that went down to your knees, well, over heavy tank tops or shirts.
Dickie
Yeah,
shorts.
dicky shorts. Yes, bands like Pantera, Fear Factory, and other groups out there were doing the same thing. That was the scene back then. Converse sneakers here and there, multiple
Yeah.
tattoos, and of course, 7 years later, they got Ripper Owens to do two studio albums, Jugulator and Demolition, a couple of live albums, and a live video cassette or a DVD, as it would be now known as. And
Yeah.
a couple years later, after that, Rob Halford decides to rejoin the group, and they've been super steady ever since. Now, KK Downing, as you know, decided he was going to lead the group. We don't really know the whole story between what went on those two on the two sides there, but apparently they were going to celebrate their 50th anniversary without him. And if they were going to get inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which we were hoping to do last year,
Yeah.
sadly that never came to be. He was not going to be invited as well. Now, keep in mind, we also got to mention the court case that was they were involved in 1992. As we know, we spoke about this on a previous episode, actually a couple episodes ago, I should probably say. Two teenage boys were smoking weed, drinking beer, and listening to the Stained Glass album. When all of a sudden they started hearing the words "Do it, do it, do it," and apparently they
Do.
decided to do it. They decided to form a suicide pact. Now they
Yes.
put some gunshot. They took a gun, and they started. They proceeded to do this. One died immediately. The other survived, not for long, but I guess he died from the injuries. But his face had to be reconstructed, and to a point where he was absolutely beyond unrecognizable. And I
Yeah,
remember
he looked
seeing it.
like the Elephant Man.
Yeah, it was more. Oh man! And here's the thing. And this is the thing that pisses me off. To save their own asses, they blamed the music was the one that inspired them to do it. This led to a 6-year case against Priest and their labels, CBS Records, as was known at the time. And they finally got to a trial in Florida court in 1990. They spent all summer there, which they were found not guilty, but CBS Records had to pay monetary damages to the courts for not providing enough evidence for this case. The case was
Right.
about 6 years in the making. Now, so surely, I guess a lot of the trial also had to do with supposedly with the breakup between the Halford and the rest of Priests. Now, at the same time that was going on, they put it out two-disc set called Metalworks 73 to 1993. It was a greatest hits a compilation. Not really not really greatest hits, but it was their best tracks recorded from here and there, from almost every album they did under the Sony label. They didn't include any. They had to include something from. If they had to include something from Sad Wings of Destiny, they had to do it from the live record Unleashed in the East in 1979. Um, that's when I first heard them on the radio back at that time there, and it was the cover of the Green Metal Alicia, the Two Prong Crowd, the Fleetwood Mac tune that kind of ended absolutely grabbed me by the nuts. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
powerful song. It's a powerful album. Still one of my favorites today. I have it on my phone here, downloaded, and we all agree it's a badass of a record. Along with, of course, Sad Wings of Destiny and Rock-a-Rolla, their first album, which came out in I guess in '74.
Well, Sad Wings of Destiny is very underrated.
You know, but it's still a classic. I mean, like
Yeah.
now, of course, we got to get into something else. The only three lyrics the only three songs they sang about women. Now, on the first album, and Sad Wings of Destiny, they have some songs about women. The rest about island of dominations or being visited by a stranger amongst the summer breeze, being taken to another world, or running to the mill, or other stuff like that. The three songs they sing about women, of course, Rocka Rolla, the title cut from the first record about a user. Um, Cheater, also from the first album, about, of course, a cheater. And the classic, what we just started the show with, Victim of Changes, which is about a woman with a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, those, of course, every other character they would sing about throughout their whole career was always men. Sentinel, Painkiller, Jawbreaker, Exciter, Starbreaker, you know, you name it. They were all dudes. And in 1988, we found out the real reason why. Rob Halford came out of the closet admitting that he is a gay man. And he did this when he was about around 98 when Priest returned it with Ripper Owens at the helm. Now, Priest's tour with Ripper Owens was it was a kind of lackluster a bit from what I heard from many people. I didn't get a chance to see any of those shows because they were playing at theaters and I was working a restaurant job at that time. But from what I understand, it's kind of, but at the same time, to see this group that you used to watch at, let's say, the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, now playing the State Theater on Woodward Avenue in the same city, it's kind of odd. But then again,
Yeah.
it was a good 7 years in between those two periods, so a lot of people may have forgotten, or many people have were kind of like this in franchise with basically the metal went down in a downward spiral because of all the alternative stuff that came out in around that time, whether it's Screamy Trees, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, bands like Soundgarden, all the New Radicals, all those bands, Blues Traveler. So it took a long while for real heavy metal to make a comeback, and I guess it's safe to say that Priest was leading the way with Ripper Owens at the front. Of course, up until Rob Halford decided to rejoin in 2003. So Priest is still together now.
There's
There's been
only
a
one with two original members, the bass and obviously lead.
lead. Oh well, here's the thing. KK Downey, the original members that were in during up until this point was KK Downing and Ian Hill, the bass player.
Yeah.
Um, I'm gonna put something in the Skype chat here in a moment there. As you know, KK Downing had a very falling out with police Priest. We don't know what the circumstances was, but apparently he decided to do some concert promoting. He also did some promotions. He also did a thing called Metal Mermen, which is a men's fragrance. And he also tried a golf course at one point, from what I understand. But apparently he decided to play some music again. I guess it wasn't really going his direction. So realizing he could not come back to Judas Priest, so spot was filled a long time ago, back in
Yo, what
2011.
does that? Hold on. What does that mean? Deepest Day Rose in the chat says I'm using you, Earl. What am I using you for?
Oh, not that I know of.
Jesus Christ. What if we start a Patreon and you get all the money?
Well, that would sound like a good idea there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to find that photo right now of Judas Priest is 73. It's a totally different lineup what we already know. As you know, as I mentioned, KK and Ian Hill are the only original members left. Rob Halford didn't join until after the dismissal or the departure of Al Atkins, who had co-wrote some of the songs in the first and second album. And get this, Al Atkins is trying to cash in on Priest's legacy with some stuff of his own. He's coming out with an album. I forgot its title, but it's kind of similar to the Sin After Sin album, and he's doing songs like Victim to Changes and some of the stuff he did when he was still involved with them earlier in the years there. So, and he also wrote this book called Rise of the Metal God, in which he kind of like disrespects Rob Halford by calling him Rob the Queen Halford.
Really?
Yeah, he did. Because at that time, when I guess the problem is, Halford wanted to come out of the closet back in the 80s when Priest was at their height, but back then he couldn't do it because if he did, Priest would have been done. Because back then, homosexuality and heavy metal were not supposed to mix together. And it's just, back if Boy George were to admit that he was sleeping with his drummer, they would have been rejected by their fans.
Was he really?
Yeah, that's how it was back then.
Uh,
Remember, priests were because and Priest was and heavy metal was considered all man music, all
yeah.
man macho music. There, that's what they were. That's what it was considered. No wimps, no pussies, no idiots, no queefballs, none of that macho man stuff. Wear your leather whips and chains with pride. Don't take any shit from any man around you except from your boss or a police officer. Well, they a lot of them went after police officers at times.
Who's that black guy?
Oh, that's the drummer. His name is Chris Campbell. I put original. I should probably put it later on during the show here, which lineup I'm talking about. That is, of course, Ian Hill, K.K. Downing, Chris Campbell, and Al Atkins, right in there. That's from 1973, prior to Rob Halford joining the group. You know,
Well,
it's of course we all know that, course, we gotta acknowledge something that's really clear, that's obviously loud and clear. Rob Halford is, of course, considered an icon in the world of heavy metal fashion. All the whips and chains, studs and leathers, the stuff he wore in those early videos and on those concert tours. Um, many other heavy metal bands, like a band called Exciter from Canada, a power trio. Other groups like Chastain and other bands that were starting to dress like him. So, what does Priest do? They decided to go a little bit more glamish for the album Turbo. Now, Turbo, believe it or not, was supposed to be called Twin Turbos. Side 1 and 2 was supposed to be the Turbo album as a whole, while the sides 3 and 4 was supposed to be a lot more heavier stuff. The heavier stuff would later decide to save until the following 2 years later, and they would surely record for the album Ram It Down, which, by the way, Dave Holland, the drummer at that time, did not play on. They used a fucking drum machine. Why? I have
really?
no idea. Yeah. Wow.
What does that mean? Just drum machine.
Yeah, they use a drum machine. It's a program beast. A lot of synth pop bands use it. It was used on a lot of some of the current stuff that's out there on the radio. Drum machines don't miss a beat. You don't have to worry about paying any other person to come in and play the drums. So,
Hired gun.
all right, now here's something like that. Yes, I mean the Sisters of Mercy. They have a drum machine on all their concerts and recordings, which they call Doctor Avalanche. Definitely. Now keep this in mind. Dave Holland, by the way, got himself into deep water back in 2004. It seems that he was convicted and sentenced to 8 years in a British prison for allegedly, allegedly, if he did or we do not know, who knows? Apparently, story has it that he molested an underage special needs boy
Who?
who, well, yeah, they don't give out the names of the victims to protect the innocent. But apparently he was giving drum lessons to this little boy and apparently took advantage of him. He was sentenced to 8 years. 8 years after he got out. He decided to
Oh
hook up
shit!
with Al Atkins' group there, and he passed away at age 79 there, a couple years back. Now, during that time when that whole shit was going on, his name was really removed from all the credits. He was his.
You do have a guest in here.
Ah.
We got to give him his intro here now.
Oh yeah. Let me guess. I think we know who he is.
Honorary intro for this guy right here.
Yep.
Special to our hearse. You want a DJ? Gosimo. This is live too. This is live right now. His theme song.
Nice.
You want a favorite song? So the DJ Simo. And you can't go on without Simo playing your song. Simo playing your song. Tonight. Ladies and gentlemen,
Simo is
your
here, folks.
DJ, DJ Simo. Okay.
What's up,
How you doing?
Simo? How's it going, dude?
Good fellas. I just got to say that is an over-the-top intro. I am not worthy.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bit much,
Yeah. Well.
but
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. I know. We did Victim our version of Victim Changes a couple of days ago on YR's show there. And we figure we'd do it again for this special, for the second chapter of this mini series that we got here. And we figure we
Yeah.
include some other songs there. Now, forgive me, I know my there were a couple fumbles here and there on the chords and stuff, and the way things were set up. I don't have a big Marshall stack. I don't have all these mixing boards or anything like that. I just got my computer and my amplifier, foot pedal, and a couple chords here. And plus, I have to do this through the headphones here plugged in so I don't wake everybody up because everybody is currently sleeping right now.
Well, you know how it goes, man. It's all about the equipment, you know.
Yeah,
All you can try to do is play the song right,
yeah,
and how it comes out is how it comes out.
yeah.
But I've been listening. You've been killing it. You've been nailing all the points. The only thing I can add is, especially when he came out gay, like my uncles and my older cousins and all that, they really, really turned on him. I can remember that. I was
Wow.
really, really young.
Yeah.
Especially here in Detroit, they turned more towards like guys that didn't wear any makeup and all that. They went towards like Slayer and Metallica, and they kind of pushed away from that whole scene, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Slayer's
Metallica.
big in Detroit.
Yeah.
Huh?
Again.
Slayers, they have a big following in Detroit, right?
They have
All
a
of
big
heavy
following
metal has a big
everywhere.
following. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Detroit
like
used to be
northern-wise,
like
in the north there, in the northern parts of the land, like they're, your
North
East
America.
Coast,
Yeah.
yeah.
Detroit was a hub of heavy metal for sure.
I know many great bands that came from merged to that scene. We talked about it. The bands like well, not necessarily metal, but a lot of good bands that would help influence metal, like the MC5 or Iggy and the Iggy and the Stooges. Let me take that back. MC5 and Iggy the Stooges were like more influenced towards the punk scene around that period.
Yeah, the drummer of MC5 actually used to come into the video store I worked at. He lives in Southgate right now.
Ah, nice.
Dude's a beast.
Yeah, cool.
I talked this fucking ear off. I felt bad about it, but
Wow.
he's a legend.
But then again, you can't help it because here's one of the Detroit icons sitting right in front of you.
Yeah, I think he enjoyed it too. He enjoyed the being known.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, not too many people knew him, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I knew him right off the bat. I was
No,
like, holy
I
shit.
think I mentioned this one story before where I was in a backstage at Todd's nightclub on Van Dyke and 7 Mile. Dark Carnival was playing there. It featured Ron Ashton, the guitarist from the Stooges there. Hung out, talked a little bit there backstage there, along with a guy named Ron, who was not really Rob, no. What's his damn name? I forgot his name, but at that time he was the manager of Seduce when Seduce was a quartet instead of a power trio.
Did you guys do your top songs or no?
No,
Not
we
yet.
haven't. Not yet, dude.
Let's do
All
it.
right.
Okay, let's do this, man. Okay, my top five for classic Judas Priest songs would have to be number five, a song called "Run to the Mill" from the first album Rock'n'Rolla, because of the
Ooh.
it was a very because it was a different song for me. It's more had a more of a prog rock feel to it. You know. It also feature one of the very few songs out there that actually feature a keyboard on there.
Now, did that have Rob Halford for the
Yes,
vocals, or was
yes, it
that
did. Yep, that.
Ian Gillan?
No, it had Rob Halford definitely. He was definitely in the full swing by the time they made this record back in 1974. Now, my second choice would have to be actually two tracks into one. Dreamer Deceiver slash Deceiver from Sad Wings of Destiny, because of the way it's arranged, the way it's performed, and also the way Rob Halford really shrieks his voice out and during one of the verses there. I mean,
Yes.
he just all throughout the song. You heard the song what I'm talking about. You know what?
Yes.
Yes, you could just wow, man. He's probably one of the biggest reasons why all the other singers out there, ages later, would try to screech that high. I mean, he has just one of the most intense vocal ranges ever. He can still do it now and then, but problem is it's a little bit out off base because of his age. You know, he said that in an interview that if he tried to scream the way he like that, like he did back then, his balls would just fall off. Yeah.
What's your number three?
My number three would have to be it would have to be some heads are going to roll from the Defenders of the Faith album. I always dug that song. It's like it would make a great song for a wrestling pay per view, whether it's
Yeah.
AEW or Ring of Honor. Fuck the WWE. They can have their new metal acts out there, which don't really interest me that much. I
Well,
mean,
they
this
always had Motorhead, which we'll dive into them in
yeah,
another
but
episode.
yes, we will. But remember, that was only the theme song. I'm talking about a theme song for a pay-per-view event.
They never did one for pay per view. You
No,
sure?
well, they did a few, but it was from groups that I have not yet even heard from yet. That
No, I'm
just
saying
didn't.
Motorhead. Motorhead never did a pay per view song.
No, they never did. They just did those two or three songs for Triple H, and that was about it.
They did a
Yeah.
Legacy.
Yeah,
Evolution. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
Evolution.
Yeah, then after, of course, Triple H's little faction there
Yeah.
with Ric Flair, Orton, and Bautista.
Which was actually written by Jim Johnson, or what's is that his name? Jim
Jim
Johnson.
Johnson, yeah, he
Yeah.
was the man
Really?
doing. Yeah, he was the one who did all the songs for the Attitude Era up till about the time when he was let go.
Which is awesome. He wrote that song and Lemmy played it. That's really cool.
Yep. Now my second one would have to be the Green Manalishi with the two-prong crown, which is of course it was it's a Fleetwood Mac cover. Originally recorded in the 1960s when Peter Green was their singer and guitarist. And the description of that is like a person being tempted by the devil and that person shooing the devil away. It was an anti-satanic song there.
Yes.
Hence the subtitles with the two-pronged crown, if you know what I'm talking about there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And of course, the number one, my personal favorite, we always love the one me and YR just did, open this show with, Victim of Changes. Because as I mentioned, I remember hearing it years back when MTV did their live Vengeance from '82 on Saturday night. I remember hearing that song. It was like, wow, it's a very epic tune there. Of course, it was as I mentioned, it's a song about a woman with an drinking problem, and the man's finally saying, you've been screwing around, you're gone, get the fuck out, I'm done with you. You used to be beautiful, but now you're this other person, and I can't tolerate that. So, there you
Hell
go.
yeah.
It's like
We're
some
all gonna
people in
have
this
that one.
gospel. just like some people in this godforsaken community,
Yeah.
bleeds right in.
Yeah.
What would your number one be? Oh, you already
Well,
said that.
Yeah, that was
that
it.
was
That
it.
was my number one.
Oh,
Yep.
you took my number one, you
Um,
asshole.
well, it doesn't
We're
really
all
matter.
gonna have that one. There's no doubt.
It doesn't matter.
But
We could have both number ones. It doesn't matter because we all agree that it's one
yeah,
of the most classic tunes they've ever put it out.
I mean, my second to that would be obviously Beyond the Realms of
Oh
Death.
yeah, yeah.
Would be
Which
my
is
second.
about, of course, which is basically, according to Halford, is a anti-suicide song in the third and final verse. So, Simo, do
My
you have?
third's gonna be my third. Hold on, I'm doing my
My
list.
bad.
So but I'm going from first, obviously. So that and then that one. So my third would be Nightcrawler.
Ooh,
Oh
not
yeah.
prepared.
Wow.
Then
Nightcrawler,
fourth,
another good one.
that fourth is gonna be um, Citadel.
Send all yeah from Nit Victim, from Defenders of the Faith. Great story in there. You wouldn't
And we'll
expect it.
throw in.
You wouldn't expect lyrics like that from to come from a gay man, believe it or not. Because back then,
Right.
gay men were perceived as these little lottie dotty, pansy wansy type of dudes
You
who
play
dress up like.
Citadel?
Yeah. Can I play it? What again?
Can you play it?
I can learn it all a while. I haven't
Ah.
spent a while. I used to try and play it back when that album was first out back in '84, but I have to start relearning it again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing whole Priest albums together,
Yeah.
distributing all of them.
Or a couple of
We're
Priest tunes here.
basically me and Dr. Brown are a online internet Judas Priest tribute band at this point right now.
Right now, till we until we come up with some covers there.
We need a
Or the-
drummer.
or-
We
or,
need a
yeah, or a
drummer.
drum or a drum machine there. Or you could probably have, does your a little 8-bit come with some beats separately other than the music?
No, but actually, you did. We technically did Beyond the Realms of Death acoustic. Like I mean, you didn't do it with acoustic guitar, but
But
like
it's just a
you
clean,
did.
but a clean guitar,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah,
We kind of stripped it down a bit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Should be there.
But
the
so
re-
then
the
my
re-
number five. My
Mhm.
number five, it'll probably
I
be. We'll throw Highway. We'll throw Highway up there.
heading out to the highway,
Yeah.
which you also did as one of the intro tracks there.
I mean, I like Jawbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
Stop. Stop. I gotta do my list.
Oh yeah, we got to have Simos. I know he has definitely got a
What's
list there.
that song
We
I
did that
sang
the last
earlier,
time. There was like
People?
5 people going in front of me, and all my shit was taken.
All right.
Keep going. Keep
Okay,
going.
go right ahead, kid. Go right ahead, kid.
All right, so we got Victim of Changes, which was already said.
Yep.
We got The Ripper. Nobody
Ooh.
mentioned that one.
Yeah, that's track there.
We got Beyond the Realms of Death, which was mentioned.
Yep.
Surprisingly, nobody mentioned Hellion.
Hellion. Oh, the beginning, that little track before the little track before Electric Eye from Screaming of Vengeance.
Well, you people throw those two together though.
Yeah,
you
they
talking
do
about
that.
Electric
Yeah,
Eye
because
too?
there was not, and if I understand, they were not supposed to be together. It was supposed to have been separate, but they decided throw it in together as one of those
Wait, is that what
glue
you
to glue
mean,
tracks. Yeah.
Timo?
Yeah,
You mean
Hellion
Electric
Hellion is the first track, and it's like the best way to enter a fucking album to me.
Mm-hmm. And it
And then
goes
of course, yeah,
goes
it
right
goes
into
right
Electric
into,
Eye. Electric Eye.
or, I mean, yeah, Electric Eye.
Which in a way is kind of like a little message about censorship when you think
What's
about
up,
it.
Scott, brother?
Ah,
Scott's in
nice.
the chat here. How you
Ah,
doing, brother?
nice. What up, Scotty?
What's his top 5 priest?
Oh, we could probably get him on the call here and ask him there.
I mean, most people are gonna, go to. Well, finish your list. I'm sorry, Timo.
Oh, and my last one's Diamonds and Rust.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Joan Baez cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, believe it or not, the original Joe Baez cover had the extra verse in there, and that a priest unfortunately did not add to their versions. There's been a lot of versions from that song, before I understand. One that was on compilation record called Hero Hero, which is a compiled of the two first Priest albums, Rock'n'Rolla and Sad Wings of Destiny. And of course, we know the one that's on the Sin After Sin album a few years later.
What's
Yep.
the one I sang earlier that was on the Painkiller album?
Um,
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun,
was that
dun-dun.
Nightcrawler you mentioned?
No, no. It's another one. It's real good. Hold on.
Touch of Evil.
Evil, bro.
That was one. That
Another
was,
signature Halper moment.
oh yeah. I remember watching the video for that track and it described all these,
That's on the Painkillers album, right?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
1990. I remember the video for that. It kind of had an eerie feel to it because, it showed a young boy and these preachers, somewhat preachers in the Mid South, somewhat like what Bray Wyatt was trying to portray when he first started out. Holding up a snake, said, "The power of God compels me to take this poison and to ooze it out," that kind of stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is we didn't name any of the most popular ones as our favorites.
You know,
We didn't mention Breaking the Law. We didn't Hellbent for Leather. None of those.
yeah, but
That's
then
interesting.
again, yeah, that's true. Hellbent for Leather is an awesome one. Anytime you think of someone on a bike, or every time I think I'll see a picture of a girl on a bike or something like, I think of Hellbent for Leather. That song there,
Yeah.
even though that's
Living
about
After
it.
Midnight.
Yeah, but then again, keep in mind we're going for tracks that are not regularly
Yeah.
played on the radio because we always hear Breaking the Law, Living After Midnight,
Like
got
these
another thing
tracks we are
coming.
mentioning are better than the ones on the radio. That's the thing.
In our opinion, yeah, which is interesting.
yeah.
That's cool.
But,
Okay,
So
well,
if
a
you
lot
haven't
were
li-
good,
but sadly,
but-
though, as we all know, the radio audience doesn't really give a they don't give a lickety split about it because it's not the songs that you meant, not the radio hits, and it's sadly that they only know those radio hits. So, if I'm with some young girl, and she wants to
Thanks,
hear a
Doc,
Judas Priest
brother.
song, and she wants to hear a Judas Priest song, I put in Burning Up from Stained Glass. She's got to be like, this ain't Judas Priest. Oh, yes, it is. But I thought it was going to be Breaking the Law or Got Another Thing Coming.
Yeah, I want to
No,
listen. I got
girl.
another thing coming. Like, oh my god,
Yeah, that's what it is.
that's what they be saying.
That's what it is.
For a host to be like, I want to listen to Living After Midnight, not fucking Jawbreaker. Like, what the fuck?
That's how usually the radio listening audience usually is. They don't go deep. They just only know what's spoon fed to them.
Well, that's the cool thing about this show. If there's someone who is thinking about maybe getting into something, they can listen to our picks and decide for themselves.
Bro, I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
Explore it,
I've
folks.
listened to a lot of Sabbath a couple months ago, but I've really been diving into the Priest. But I mean, hands down,
Yeah.
Alfred's the best singer, number one.
Yeah, but next
Ever.
Mm,
More than Mercury, I'm telling you.
I think Dio's
listened
got
to-
him. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm looking. Look, I'm looking up live performances too. I'm looking up recent ones, older ones, and he's got. I mean, obviously over the years he had to change some shit, but
yeah.
still, I'm looking at these deep tracks, and he still got them down.
Well,
You
if
know
you're
what
to
I'm
tell
saying?
if you're going to tell one person to listen to something from Judas Priest, you would just say "Unleashed in the East." That's probably one of the greatest
fuck
concert
yeah,
records
oh,
of all
yeah.
time.
Oh yes, I double agree on that notion.
Out of
there.
anybody, that it's up there with Kiss Alive, the first one. I mean,
What is that? A concert DVD?
No, it's an album. It came out in 1979. That's when I
if
first heard of Priest.
if you have not heard "Unleashed in the East," we need to just end the show.
But I'm
now.
not a live album guy.
Oh,
Dude, that's how you
studio
hear how
or-
good the band is.
That's it, and believe me, the production on that album
Yeah,
is
but I like
top
watching
notch.
the concert videos, but I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'll check it out then.
Dude,
Well,
to be able to
you
hit
can
those
find- you
notes
can
live.
You can finally find lots of concert videos on YouTube. You could find there, going back to the old gray whistle test from '74 to 1977 before they started dressing in leather at the writing festival.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, long
definitely look
hair.
it up. Well, Rob Halford by the time decided to cut his hair short at that time there.
Have you seen that classic albums docu series on?
Screaming
Have
for
you seen
Vengeance.
that?
What again?
No, it was on. British Steel. Like
Oh,
they
that's
break
the
it
one that.
down
Oh
and
yeah, that's the one that really got them well known on this heavy radio scene there. Breaking the Law, Living After Midnight, still staples on the to this day on the rock radio circuit. But we cannot forget songs like Rapid Fire, The Rage, Metal
yes.
Gods,
Eat Me
Grinder.
Alive.
No, that's on that song got him in trouble with the PMRC if you remember. If you remember that was back in
Really?
19 yes, because there was a line in there. It's about oral sex, and there was a line in there saying, "I'm going to force you at gunpoint to eat me alive." And that got him. I guess Tipper Gore heard about that, and that they got put on blast for that song there. And how
Which
for
nowadays nobody would blink an eye, but back
yeah,
then,
and back then it was shocking. Oh my God!
yeah.
Compared to the Two Life Crew with the shit they said on their one of their records, I remember hearing that album. I was like, holy shit! Fucking here,
Yeah.
fucking there, everywhere. It's a fuck.
You know, another underrated song is Dissident Aggressor.
Oh yeah,
Remember that
from
one?
City. Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Badass song.
Mm. It was a problem for me. I didn't know to leave that one off or not. That was my number 6.
Oh yeah, we also get the other songs on that record, like the ballad "Last Roses." So they didn't really do that much ballads there. They had only a few here and there. They had "Night Comes Down" from kind of like a power ballad, like from the Defenders of the Faith, "Last Rose of Summer" from Sin After Sin. One of my favorites is "Before the Dawn" from Hell Bent for Leather.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Is there any stories? Is there any stories with their album art? Because I always found their album art to be like it stands out.
you know, well, I know that they have a lot, and I know it a lot. I don't know the name of the individual that did some of their albums, but I'm thinking it's the same guy who did the original, the one that did for the Screaming for Vengeance. He kind of like went for the same measure with the Defenders of the Faith, and he also did it with Turbo, I believe, because of the way the Hellion Bird and the Madillion, I think that character's name is, that's on the cover, the Defenders of the Faith, the way they're merging with the, and I think it did the same thing with the Firepower album cover as well.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
always cool looking. That Defenders of the Faith always reminded me of like Transformers.
yeah, but a lot more metalish.
Yeah,
Needless to say, like instead of Bumblebee coming out to some KMDM try, they come out with a free will burn and blast it through its loudspeakers.
all right.
Now, is Priest? Now, here's a question. What again? What again, Wire?
My bad.
Yeah. Now, here's a question for YR and Simo. As you know, they were supposed to do a 50th anniversary tour. They're going to most likely do it next year when this COVID shit it finally leaves the states here. Now, the question is, are they going to have? Will KK Downer be invited back to participate on this tour, or is it going to be shunned out like they did when Glenn Tipton got revealed that he had Parkinson's disease, and they got Andy Sneap to fill in his shoes during the Firepower tour? Because he did express wanting to come back, and fill in Glenn's position there, but everyone was saying, nope, your position's already fulfilled by Richie
Yeah.
Faulkner. Sorry to say, dude.
Wait,
Yeah.
to me, after Black Sabbath and Bill Ward couldn't get it all together,
I
I
know.
wouldn't. I don't know what to say anymore.
What's the problem? Like,
Kiss. I mean, so many bands that just they can't get along once they get old. It's fucking really weird.
Or let a lot of issues get between them. Like we were
So if
just,
I had to guess, I'd say no. I'd say there's too much there.
I know. They're going to have to just sit down, have a long ass talk about what went wrong, how this happened, what happened there. You know, I know that when Priest got back together with Rob Halford, and one of the first things they had to ask was, why did Rob Halford leave the group? He never released. He never really revealed why he did that. I mean, during the press conference for the 2003 Ozfest with Sabbath and Priest, KK did nudge him on the Rob Halford on the elbow there. Said, "You never told us why you left the band like you did. You never did."
Right.
And I don't think
And you
Rob.
know,
I don't think Rob even knows why he did. He was caught up within the mess with the lawyers, the record labels. That had a lot to do with the breakup between those two back then. Plus, as I mentioned, the trial back in 1990 that put a lot of strain on the band.
yeah, and the shitty part is it could end up being another Pantera situation where these guys die and there's one or two
No,
members left to fucking cry about it after, and they're like, damn, I just wish I would have just shut up
worked.
and made things right, you know?
Yeah, I know. Well, I know in Pantera, Vinny didn't. I know Phil tried to make amends with Vinnie Paul, but Vinnie Paul just wouldn't have it. Sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on Somno, he had problems, bro. He
Yeah,
was.
sure. He had a lot of drug issues at the time. He said a lot of shit that just didn't that didn't sit well with Vinny, especially regarding his brother Dimebag.
Yeah, he said some bad shit about Dimebag, and he just
Yeah,
never
What did
forgave
he
him for
say?
it.
yeah, yeah.
What?
What's up?
What did he say?
Who? Keith or Keith?
Yeah, Keith. Read off what you learned today
I'm
about
I'm
Priest.
I'm gonna read it right now here. Why are
No,
what
let
happened?
Keith. No, let Keith do it. He wanted to bring something to the show here.
Okay.
No, I just tried reading Judas Priest Wikipedia, but I'm high right now, so I can't do
So
it.
you
What?
can't do
What do
it.
you mean?
What?
What do you mean you're not?
It's like it's not interesting enough. I can't focus on it.
What are you high on? Triple C's?
What's your
Triple C's,
what?
triple C's.
Oh, okay.
This dude called. How many did you take?
16.
Oh, holy fuck.
Are you out of your
Stop.
damn mind?
Bro, y'all know what triple
No.
C's is?
Yeah, I know.
It's cough cold Cacetin pills. It fucks you up, bro. Like Keith, stay on the call. You're about to be fucked up, bro. You better be
I
slurring.
know
and
it
shit.
takes 2 hours.
Nah, it takes long. It takes quicker than that, bro. An hour.
It takes 2 hours to get fucked up.
What are you feeling? Anything now?
Why did you have to get
Yeah,
fucked up
just-
before you come and join this call?
I don't know. I was gonna do it anyway. So,
Yeah, he wants to party.
yeah.
Grab a
You have a
guitar,
guy
dude.
with autism and Asperger's addicted to triple C cough cord Cacetin pills. That's what you got here. So.
Oh, shit, that's healthy.
I was looking forward to that drama show with Ken.
I didn't
Yeah, I
know
don't
what.
know
Wait,
if
I didn't know it was a drama show with Ken.
Keith, please
Yeah, it was-
respond.
It was gonna be me, YR, and
Ken.
And SC Steve, remember?
yeah,
Oh,
SC
wow.
Steve. Yeah.
All right, so is it going to be on Ken's channel? Or if it is, I'm going to definitely check it out. What you guys got to talk about?
I don't know
guess.
whose channel it's
Yeah,
gonna be
Keith, what did we talk about today, Keith?
Yeah, because when you guys called earlier, Ken was on the call with you guys, and he decided to leave. He had to do some stuff there. I figure just now you're going to probably got something planned there for later on tonight, I guess. So probably on Ken's channel it's going to be on if I take it.
Yeah, definitely. I think he was gonna do a drama show anyway, but I don't think the majority of the audience wanted it.
Right.
Like this was back a while ago.
Oh.
So now he sees that me, YR, and SC like doing drama, and he was gonna do a drama show with us
Oh.
tonight at like
Oh.
8 o'clock.
Yes. 8 o'clock. Well, it's already 8
Oh yeah,
right
and
now.
we also talked about Buju Banton, and he's like, man, Buju Banton was killing it in Jamaica in the 90s, and he was also killing it in the 2000s. Like, Shabba Ranks started his career in 1988, and like Buju Banton, he has 52 radio hits in Jamaica.
That's good for him.
You don't know about Buju Banton?
No, I don't listen to reggae. I don't listen to Jamaican stuff.
He's my number one influence when I do a Jamaican rap.
I know you were putting this a lot of his stuff on the Skype chat a few times, bragging about him.
Yes.
Hey Keith.
I found Buju Banton like 2008.
Yeah.
Hey Keith. Hey
Yes.
Keith. Hey Keith.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Jamaican me horny.
yeah.
Happy birthday to Joe Cronin today, by the way.
Oh
He's
yeah,
58.
happy birthday! Wow, he's what?
Happy birthday.
He's
He's
62. No.
No, probably a 36.
36.
You're probably 36. I'm thinking, yeah. Yeah, happy birthday, JC. So now, if I
Gonna
understand,
have to wrap it up here shortly. I don't want it to be a long. I don't want the mini programs to be a long program.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah. Because I know you got this thing you got to do with Ken pretty soon. Well, feel free
Yeah.
to add me into the call there. If it's going to be on your channel or any other channel or it could be on my channel. It doesn't really matter there. Well, the question I'm asking is, if they decide, we all know that KK is going to go on a tour pretty soon with his band called KK's Priest, with
Yes.
Tim Ripper Owens on front, who I mentioned was Halpert's replacement for those two albums in the later 1990s. Les Binks, who drummed it with Priest during the 1970s up until 1980 when Dave Holland took over. He's going to be the drummer. They got a couple other members, and as I mentioned, I was not too keen on the name KK's Priest. If it was just KK, I would have been a lot more happier about it. But it just seems like it just seemed like it's like your own version of a well-established name. It's like you remember Vinnie Vincent's Kiss that he tried to get Cordic Junction to
It was
get
in there.
who in this group.
And Vinnie Vincent's Kiss.
I don't know. It was supposed to be a feature Tony Franklin, Carmine Appice, a drum legend, and I don't know who's going to be the singer, but it was going to be called Vinnie Vincent's Kiss, and it just seemed laughable. It just seemed like an outright joke, man. Because, geez, come on, you were only with Kiss, were only on 2 tours and 1 album. Come on. Give us a break. Now, another thing I like to know is if Priest goes on tour for
Well,
this
it never
video
got. Yeah, Gene wasn't.
No, of course he wasn't going to do it because it was outright laughable. Most likely the judge, when he heard about this proposal, laughed his ass off and said, "Get the fuck out of here." Now, I was going to mention, if they decide to do this 50th anniversary tour, are they going to have both Glenn Tipton and Andy Sneap on stage together? Because as we know, Glenn Tipton has been going through Parkinson's disease about 4 years up until they did their recent tour. Andy Sneap had to step in to fill in his position there. Now, Andy Sneap, as you know, is a guitarist for a band called Sabbath. Sabbath without the H at the end.
Yeah.
He's also produced a lot of metal groups, various heavy metal bands. The thing I want to know is, and he basically, here's another thing. They kept KK and, Glenn in the background to only do a play on during some of the encores there. Now, is it going to be Sneap and Tipton on when they do this tour on stage together? Priest being a 6-man unit for this particular time? Or is it going to be just Sneap all together? Because in time, Parkinson's will really get to you. And I'd like to know your thoughts on that, Simo.
I think it's not even going to happen, especially now with all the with the COVID and the concerts not happening.
Yeah.
I just think there's not going to be a demand for it.
Well, I know a lot of these bands are probably going to be suffering as a result of that, because nowadays, hardly anybody's buying records. They're relying on mostly doing tours and shows and festivals. That's their big money maker right there. And thanks whoever came up with this COVID-19, and spread it across here in the states, or basically or out the world, whole damn world, except for New Zealand. All these bands that used to do live shows that get good money for it, they're probably now struggling like hell right now.
Yeah, and you're a guitar player, and KK is a very influential player.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who love him.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna go on tour, you're gonna be like the second band on a festival or something, as compared to Judas Priest with Rob Halford,
who was a headlining group, who was a headliner.
Stadiums. Yeah. Yes. So I don't know if he wants to do it for extra cash. Sure, people will show up.
Yeah, but it'll probably be smaller venues, no doubt about it. Like I can imagine he'll probably do a show, possibly with at the Concert Pub here on near Houston here, not far where we live.
Right, and that's not going to be a big deal though, right? Comparatively.
Yeah, well, to those who it'll be a big deal for the concert promoters and the club owners there. And it'll also be a big deal for all the fans out there who want to see this guy up close and personal.
Right. So I'm saying like when the tickets wise.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be have to wait and see what goes on there. Hopefully this COVID shit will be cleared up before the end of the year, before everything goes back to normal.
And you mentioned earlier about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I don't even talk about it. It's fucking completely it's irrelevant. All the bands that should be in there that are not.
I know. There was Priest, Thin Lizzy, a couple others. They got passed over, and just and it irritates me but yet they're willing to put in Madonna into their
Run DMC, and shit like that.
Tupac, come on, it's not rock and roll. But then again, according to the people within the establishment, rap music basically evolved from rock and roll, because you can't rap to disco music, that's for sure.
No. All right, guys, what do you think?
All right.
I used to think that the rockers got even more high than the rappers.
Yeah.
Well, they did what they did back in the 70s, that's for sure. But now and then, I guess a lot of them cleaned it up their acts in the 80s, 90s, and are still straight today.
Oh, okay.
What's the theme gonna be for Tuesday? You think?
I do not know yet. I'm trying to. I was have to come up with something for now. I'm thinking about something.
You just want to do a top 10 singers?
We could do it. I think we did a top 10 singers. We could probably do that.
We did guitarists.
No, we did. We could probably do it, or a top 5. I'm thinking probably do a top 5 singers. I think did we do that already, guys?
No.
Okay, let's do it.
I think Simo needs to put in a top 10 list.
Let's do a top 5. Let's do a top 5. Yeah, it's top 5.
It's gonna be harder.
No.
It's more fun when it's hard.
Yeah.
Hey, let me go
it's
through
more
some
of a challenge.
Bands. Let me go through some of these real quick. Just talking about the snubs. It's fucking disgusting, dude. Iron Maiden, not in the Hall of Fame. Rage Against the Machine, not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Devo. I mean, even you could put fucking Devo, Pat Benatar. All these people are more deserving than fucking Run DMC. Like, are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Aerosmith's in there, right?
I think so, yeah.
Probably.
Aerosmith's over Iron Maiden.
Look how many years it took to get Kiss in there.
AC/DC's in there?
I don't know. Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Sabbath.
I think they should put Post Malone in there.
What?
Later.
What?
Later. Because he's done a song with Ozzy Osbourne.
No.
He's done tribute to Nirvana.
No. You gotta... No.
But he did a song with Ozzy Osbourne.
That's beyond the point. Just because you do a song with Ozzy Osbourne doesn't mean you got to do more. You got to come out with a 20 years career spanning. You got to.
He did like an hour-long video of tributing to Nirvana.
So what?
Good
So
point. He
what?
makes good point. He's one of those rap guys that still puts rock out there. I mean, that's still something.
Stop it.
He's
Please.
representing that rock generation. I
No,
mean, he
yeah,
really is.
but the
Bro.
Barack
The
generation
rap
today.
audience is learning like who Nirvana is. Like black people are learning who Nirvana is. Who
Yeah, but
fucking
the thing
Ozzy.
is,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but the thing is, I can care less about Nirvana. I never liked Nirvana.
Dude, Joe Cocker's not in there. Fucking. There's so many people
What
that
about the
deserve to be in
Doors?
there. I
No,
don't
I
know.
can.
Bad Company's not in there.
Yeah,
Bad
What
that's
Company
true
about
as
had a
well.
Eminem
lot
in
of
there
hits.
later?
Screw Eminem.
Eminem
I'm
dressed up
sick of.
like Marilyn Manson.
No, no.
Remember War? War's not in there. No
Yeah,
Pat Benatar.
yeah.
No
Keith,
Alice in
Keith, can I
Chains.
say
They were.
something? Hold on a second. Like, can I say something, Keith? You need to expand your horizons when it comes to music, man. Because the stuff you're talking about is all current stuff. And I'm sorry. Me and Seymour are a lot older, and we don't find the current stuff out there that good to listen to. A lot of the stuff that we grew up listening to, it had a lot more in depth. It had a lot more practice. Had a lot more talent. A lot of those songs, a lot of those, they went through a lot of rehearsals, a lot of arrangements, a lot of studio time to get those songs as perfect. And you got to admit, the songs that we grew up listening to back then had some damn good stories to tell, unlike the stuff that we have now.
It's real
Yeah.
music, man. Real
Yeah.
music.
I don't like classic rock.
Well, it's on you, man. That's all I'm going to
I
say.
feel like I've researched classic rock enough. Like
Well,
I listen to Fleetwood
is
Mac.
well, you don't have. We're talking about a different genre. We're talking about rock and roll's bastard child. We're talking about
Uh,
bands that went before Judas Priest and Black Sabbath. We're talking about bands like Steppenwolf.
Magic Carpet Ride.
You know, other
There you
than
go.
other than Magic Carpet Ride, other
At
than
least you know
Born to
that.
Be Wild, other than those two songs, what songs you know from them?
And what it's Wild Thing or Born to Be Wild?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Wild Thing is the Trogs. We're talking Steppenwolf. What other songs you know from Steppenwolf other than Born to Be Wild and Magic Carpet Ride? The radio
None.
hits. None?
None.
Time to go to school, kid.
Okay.
Look up The Pusher. Look up Suki
Okay.
Suki. Look up all the other songs.
I don't even want to do that.
Yeah, this guy's fucked up tonight, man.
It's like I said, it's on you. You're not going to get laid, that's for sure.
You can't listen to Kodak Black your whole life.
Yep.
I don't even like Kodak Black.
Who's your top 5 favorite rappers?
Of all time?
No, just for today.
Okay, Drake, Lil TJ, Lil Durk, Eminem. Lil Durk, he's from Chicago.
And?
Eminem, and I have one more, Wiz Khalifa.
No. That's what I got to say as well.
Jesus.
Dr. Brown, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
I didn't really have dinner yet there, so I just got done with the Home Depot venture there, and then we came right home and said they got everything set up here.
Well, why don't you grab you something to eat and take a listen to the Drama Club stream because they're live and they're back, baby.
Okay, I should be going.
Going into
what
Cronin
time?
hard, bro. This
Oh wow!
yeah, man.
Wow,
They're
I
back.
got it. Wow, so I said, guess some surreal shit went down once again.
Yeah, he's showing DMs from Cronin and everything, brother.
Oh
for real.
man! Wow. All right.
Old Scotty back at it again. Classic drama over there.
Oh yeah. So what time is
What
Ken's,
channel?
It's on Ken's channel, Foul Mouse Network.
No, it's on Drama Club's channel. He's
Oh
live right
really?
now. Yeah.
Oh really? Is it called? Let me try to find it here. Okay, let me find it here. So I guess Scott decided to bring that channel back now. And all right.
It says going live over other shows.
Yep.
What an asshole.
Oh shit, but that's Scott's. But then again,
Classic Scott, brother.
that's Scott's little humor there.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we should probably end the show and go check it out there, guys.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
All right.
think
Now
of
have
a
a good one,
subject.
Simo. Shout out to you, Simo, for calling
Yes,
in there.
brother. Simo,
Yes.
brother.
Yes.
Later, brothers.
All right. And we're gonna check out the Scott's channel, Drama Club channel right now to see what's going on over there. All right. So tune in this coming Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern for our, was it episode 12, I guess?
Either 12 or 13.
All right. We're going to, I got a good idea. Discussing pre-metal acts like there. We discussed Steppenwolf, a band called Blue Cheer we got to bring up
Oh,
there.
trios?
Yes, not really trios, but bands that were like hard and heavy, but prior to heavy metal, around the 1960s. We got to bring up a lot of these groups, like I mentioned, Blue Cheer, the Iron Butterfly, the
Yes.
Ted
Yes.
Nugent and
Bob
the
Seger
Amboy
experiment.
Dukes, yeah, the Bob Seger System, Iggy Pop and the Stooges.
It's going to be hard for me, bro.
All right, definitely. Well, you got the professor here, you got the doctor here to help you along here.
Yeah.
All right, so on behalf of myself, YR, and Keith here, this is our second edition of our special. This is our special mini series. A salute to the Big British Three. Now, who are we gonna salute next Sunday night? Iron Maiden or Motorhead?
Well, we need to add Death Leopard in there, I think.
But Def Leppard not really heavy as he used to be now. That's the point. They're
Come on,
thinking,
brother.
and the reason I say that is because it was not. Yeah, it was hard when they first started out, but they kind of like morphed into. They morphed into what they call the contemporary rock world, whereas "Pour Some Sugar on Me" and "Photograph," early songs from the '80s, are now being played on
Adult
the
contemporary. Adult
contemporary.
contemporary.
Yes, alongside them either Sheryl Crow or some cheeseball band that appeals to the that kind of crowd there. And plus, the women who listen to that station, they're probably wishing that they were about 13 or 16 years old. They probably got a husband and kids, and want to go back to the day when they was free, able to get away with shit. I'll talk about it all the time. And what's worse is when you go see these shows, they often try to dress like they used to back in when they were in their 20s. Try to
Yes.
relive that magic, even though it got a big fat ass sticking out to here.
It's true. All right, well, we're Dr. Brown.
All right, then. We're gonna go over to Scott's channel and check what's going on in there. For myself, YR, and Keith Rabarber, this is part 2 of our salute to the Big British Four. Okay.
Yes,
Don't
brother.
for-
Learn
and don't-
some Iron Maiden songs.
Okay, there.
At least
gotta-
do
I
a number
gotta-
of the beats
I gotta-
or something.
Yeah. Okay, I definitely will work on that. All right. Once again,
All right, brother.
Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Metal Maniacs episode, I think it's episode 12, I think it is. Yes. All right, tune in and crank up the system up loud.
Yes, brother.
Bye-bye. All right, bye-bye,
Bye.
everybody.